I just saw this ad ran by the Harris campaign talking about how she is going to build 3 million affordable houses in the next 4 years. First and foremost, I think, why haven't you done that already? You're already in office, you're already on the team. So in this video today, I'm going to talk about Kamala Harris's new plan to solve the affordability issue in America. And I actually think some of these ideas are good. So let's talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly. First thing that she's going to be doing, she says, I'm going to do a tax incentive to build starter homes. Guys, no offense. Nobody cares about tax credits. What we care about are real dollars. So if you, the government of Los Angeles, are taking tax dollars and spending tax dollars on homeless housing, $600,000 per unit, why wouldn't you give developers actual real cash to go and build these things? I don't really think this is going to change much. I think that this is minor, and the only people that are really going to benefit from this are people like Lennar Homes and other massive home builders. So I don't think this is going to help much. I think it sounds good for her voters. That's perfectly fine. I'm all about marketing, and if she's figured out how to market to people that don't know any better, totally get it. The next one is expand the low income tax credits. This is for builders as well. I think, again, this is a non-starter for me. This is not going to solve anything here at all. Will not change anything at all. This, I think, could potentially change something. She's saying she's going to launch a $40 billion fund, and she's going to have local municipalities. So I live in Mesa in Arizona, and I also live in Kalispell, Montana. So she's saying that she's going to put $40 billion together, whether the Senate approves this or not is a different thing, to help build infrastructure and innovate new technologies for building materials and building tech, essentially making it a lot easier for builders like myself to go out and build affordable houses. But I don't think this is a big deal. I'm going to give this like a 5 out of 10. I think this is okay, but whether they can get the Senate to pass this or not, good luck. This, I think, actually is a really, really good plan. Federal land for building. So what she's talking about, I think that this would be absolutely amazing if she could release some of the federal land for building and give this for $0 or really cheap dollars to developers and say, we're going to give you this piece of land so you can develop on it. Why would that be beneficial? You're giving people that know what they're doing access to cheap land, which is one of the most cost prohibitive things in building homes, and also zoning issues, right? This is the next one. I think this one will make a big difference. She says she's going to cut red tape. Now, a Democrat. Now, again, guys, you might come in here and you go, I don't know who you are. My name is Pace Morby. I own 2,132 rentals. I'm a real estate investor and I'm a capitalist. I'm an American. I'm not a Democrat and I'm not a Republican. I think Republicans do things on their side that are highly manipulative and liars and all that kind of stuff. And I think also Democrats are just as bad, okay? The cutting the red tape thing, I think, is one of the funniest things a Democrat could ever say. Is historically, this is the opposite of what Democrats do. They create red tape. They make things harder and harder and harder and harder to do. As a developer myself, and I've developed over 700 homes, it is incredibly impossible. It's never the Republicans that are holding this back. It is always Democrats trying to zone and trying to make things incredibly hard. She says she's going to cut red tape. I think that this is a non-starter because even though it would change the game, this truly is the biggest issue. The biggest issue in providing affordable housing is right here, cutting the red tape right here. Regulations, permits, zoning, and entitlements. This takes forever. So let's talk about, if I'm a developer, I go buy a piece of land, I have to have all this money sunk into this piece of land for 2, sometimes 3 years before I can even start building. Her cutting the red tape on all of that stuff with permits, zoning, and entitlements would absolutely change the game. Texas right now is the best state for this, okay? Texas has the shortest time frame from I buy a piece of land, I get the permit, I get the entitlements, and I can start building. Texas is the best. It's a Republican state. So having a Democrat come in and say she's going to cut red tape, I think what she's trying to do is she's trying to appeal to the Republican voters. I think that she, again, a lot of these presidents, guys, Trump, Obama, Biden, Bush, doesn't matter. They all say things that they're not actually going to go do because it's a marketing mechanism. At the end of the day, this YouTube channel exists so you can know the truth and what's happening and how you can make money from the government tidal wave, right? How can I make money from all of this is what we'll get into in a minute. So cutting the red tape, I think, is not going to happen. I think that this is an absolute lie. She knows it's not going to happen. She doesn't want it to happen. If they wanted it to happen, they would have fixed it already. right? She's in office. Let me remind all my Democrat friends right now. She's in office. She's in the White House right now. She is the vice president of the United States of America right now. So when they say, we're going to do all these things, why didn't you do it 3 months or 3 years ago? Why didn't you do it while you were in office? I'd love to know your comments down below. Maybe I just don't know the answer. It's crazy to me that now she's going to run and these things haven't been fixed. It's a major issue. And there's going to be somebody that's going to have some illogical, and maybe somebody in the comments are going to have a logical argument. Please let me know. This one I think is both good and bad, and I think for sure this could possibly happen. Providing $25,000 in down payment assistance. Now, the problem with this is, where does this come from? Eric, where does this come from? Tax, right? They're either going to tax us at a higher rate, whether it's property taxes or local state taxes or federal income taxes, whatever it may be, or they're going to print money, right? They're going to borrow more money to do this, right? Now, the scariest thing about our government, the biggest problem that we have overall, and I'll kind of talk through some of these issues in a second, but the biggest problem that we have here is that when we receive $100, the federal government receives $100 of your taxes. 45 of those dollars go to paying interest on debt. $45 of every $100 that they receive goes to pay interest on debt. So some of these things, I think, man, that's a really great idea, but where's it coming from? You can't continue to just tax people to death. They're probably going to borrow or print that money, which now means that our debt goes up, our interest goes up, and that is problematic. The other thing that I think is really great for somebody who already owns real estate, if you start providing $25,000 in down payment assistance, what's going to happen? The price of houses are going to go crazy high, right? Demand goes high. If you all of a sudden tell everybody in the nation, we're going to do $25,000 down payment assistance, the demand goes like crazy. It is absolutely crazy, which is great for people like me. I own, again, 2,132 rentals as of today. We're actively selling some of our properties right now and recapitalizing and rolling that money into other things. But 2,132 properties totaling $500 million in assets. Of course, I have debt on that, and we have, financing and whatnot. So it's not like I have $500 million, but my real estate today is worth $500 million. That just means that when you go print dollars like this, the price of homes go up. So for those of you guys that are saying, how do I get started in a lot of this stuff? What we're going to do, I'm going to give you guys a link. Go to 15kcourses.com, and I will give you a wholesale course of how to get started in real estate completely free. We put, $100,000 of payroll and production value into this course that other people would probably charge $15,000 or $25,000 for. We're going to give it to you guys for free. I believe all courses should be for free. Now, some people are like, oh, Pace has paid courses. I do not have any paid courses. I give all my courses away for free. What I do have are paid communities to filter the right people into those communities. So there is a big difference. 15kcourses.com, go over there. You guys can take that. Now, here are the problems that we have right now. The biggest problems when you look at what's going on with government and how they're handling housing is right now we have 7 million units that we are short to achieve an equilibrium, right? Providing way more affordable houses. We're 7 million affordable houses short of demand. Cool. Well, the problem with that, the biggest problem is regulations, permits, zoning, and entitlement. Again, government problem. This is a government problem. And I do believe in restrictions. I do believe in government control to a certain degree. But really, when Democrats are in office, what we tend to see overall is that there's way too much government, way too much regulation. I have experienced this firsthand. The next bigger problem is the government takes from developers. They steal, they thieve. Okay. Now, when we pull up this article and we look back here, okay, you might disagree here, but look at this. If the government is taking tax dollars and they are building high-rise condos and they are letting homeless people, unhoused people, unsheltered people, whatever political word you want to use, those people are moving into a unit that a developer like me did not have the ability to capitalize on. And now what happens there? This is what happens. The average price per unit is $600,000. Now in Santa Monica, they're building one right now that is only 35 units, and they're spending $35 million on it, which means the average cost per unit is $1 million per unit. Think about how unfair that is, that the government is stealing tax dollars. And here's what's happening. You've got the government, or let's say it's Gavin Newsom, okay? You've got all these people that work in the government, and they're running programs like this, and they're going and hiring their own builders, okay? And these builders submit prices probably in the tune of like, hey, we can get this done for, if you built this right now, your costs as a developer in California, you could get these done for probably $200K per unit, easily, and they'd be nice. But what's happening is you've got builders submitting bids to the government, and they say, hey, we can do this for $200,000. And the politicians are like, no, you're gonna do this for $600,000. You're just gonna pad our pockets, and we're gonna receive some of that on the back end. A lot of these Democrats that are in office in Los Angeles have been caught embezzling and taking money from these types of projects. And so you'll even see the cost of a toilet inside of some of these projects is $1,200. Guys, the toilet inside my office bathroom right here, this is a really nice toilet, by the way. This toilet is like $200. Installation takes about an hour. So even if you're paying somebody $100 an hour, the entire cost to pick up, deliver, unpack, install that toilet, and the cost of the toilet included is about $400, maybe $450 on the very, very high end. What's happening is the government is getting involved in building housing, and they are hemorrhaging, and they are padding their pockets with our tax dollars. This is thieving from the people who are actually doing this for a business. The best thing that Kamala Harris could do is she would actually give maybe tax credits, but I think the best thing that she could do is give up free housing, federal land for people who are building houses. This would make an actual impact because it's real dollars that these officials would be able to give to these developers. The developers now, if they could fix the second biggest thing, would be regulations, permits, zoning, and entitlements. We could then build a lot more housing. However, if all you're doing is saying, hey, we're going to give you tax credits, the money has to still come from somewhere. I can't buy lumber with tax credits. I can't buy land with tax credits. I can't pay my payroll with tax credits. I can't pay my house payment with tax credits. So if I'm a developer going out and building these types of properties, the number one thing that I need is real cash or land. And so one thing I do like about her plan that I think is probably pretty easy, because we have a lot of federal land, is this right here. This would make an actual impact. Most of these other things I think are just pandering to a voter base that she's trying to manipulate. And don't get me wrong, if you're a Democrat, you're like, oh, Pace hates Kamala. I hate all politicians. I think they're all manipulating all of us. And it's our job to figure out what types of tidal waves they're creating so we can all surf that tidal wave. At the end of the day, it really is all about money. I have 600 people that rely on me on a daily basis. My employees rely on me on a daily basis. And if I'm not treating my life like being a capitalist pig, as some people might think I am, then there's 600 people that are not getting their paycheck. It's my job to produce a profit, not just income, but profit. Actually have money left over at the end of the day so we can expand and grow our company and give more opportunities to the people that work for us. It's my job to get the government to give me more money and take it out of the hands of the government. And when the government is taking money from us and they're taking money from developers and they're building their own stuff and padding their pockets, this is where the manipulation and the lies really come into play. So, again, go to 15kcourses.com. We'll give you guys a free wholesale course, and whatever types of courses you guys want us to give you access to in the future, please make a comment down below. I want to know, is it raising capital? Is it fixing and flipping? Is it the BRRRR strategy? What is it that you want to learn more of? What is it that you want me to build an entire course of and give it away to you for free? Go to 15kcourses.com. We'll help you guys out. And if you appreciated this video, please let me know down in the comment section. Share it with somebody else. And you think I'm wrong about some of my opinions? Please blast me in the comments down below. We'll see you in the next video.